Hey everybody, it's Kneecap here, and in this video we're going to be going over how to unlock Orb 7 on the Felcycle secret, the Rat's Revenge secret here. We have some good news for this particular one if you've made it this far. And that's that we don't have a long shopping list for this one. And however, it will take a little bit of actual work and energy and some time to do this one. So all you are really going to need for this is the fledgling Warden owl. I've heard that other owl pets work, or somebody said that they work. I haven't seen that confirmed since then. You can try another owl, and when we get to the next step, you'll see you'll really quickly be able to know if it works or not. But this owl is from Revered with the Wardens. So if you go to Legion Reputation on your thing, you should have the Wardens. If you're at least revered with them, you can just buy this, and we're going to the place where the person's at anyways next, so you can just buy it, you know, whenever you get there, whether you pause the video or whatever. You can just buy it there if you are at least revered with them. And again, it's called the Fledgling Warden owl, and it's just a battle pet, you know, in your pet journal, whatever. And you just want to, I have this, I actually put it on my bar because the exact one that I was using, just because of that. Now you might be like, well, I'm not revered. You can buy this one from the auction house. So this one is purchasable. The prices always could be jacked up for any of these things because people know that people need them. But this one is purchasable, and purchasing it's probably better than if you're starting at 0 rep with the Wardens. So those are kind of your options there when it comes to the fledgling Warden owl. So for this one, it's going to be basically 2 steps, one outside the dungeon and one inside the dungeon. But we just mentioned that, so we're going to be heading to Broken Isles, and we're going to be heading to Azuna. We've already been here, you know, with Veshti and the vendor here, but we're going to be going down here to the Isle of the Watchers and Warden's Redoubt. That's where you can buy the fledgling owl. We'll stop by there first, but this is where we're going to be heading down here at the bottom island of Azuna. And we will pick up there on the Isle of the Watchers. All right, so we are here at the Isle of the Watchers. I'm right here at the Warden's Redoubt. I wanted to show you first. So if you are near the flight path or whatever, it's over here. This is where you can buy the owl if you don't already have one. It's only 400 gold, so it's not that bad. And again, it is purchasable on the auction house. I don't know if it'll probably be more than that on the auction house. But for Revered, you can purchase this thing. And again, one of the reasons why I put it on my bar to summon is sometimes when you fly, your pet will go away or whatever, and so you might have to resummon it. So what we're going to be doing here is we're going to be messing with the owl statues. So the owl statues are thought to be maybe part of a secret, whether it's finished or unfinished in the game, like an older secret. And so people are always messing with these things. So when this current secret first came out, people noticed something was different, right? And people kind of started the solution to this piece before we ever got here. It couldn't be finished because we didn't have the prerequisite orb lit up, but people kind of already knew what to do here for the most part, just because of, you know, messing around and doing those things. So I'm gonna make sure this point's correct. 54, 5, 91. 6, 7, it should be. Okay, so I've marked here on the map the location of these statues, okay? I can put the coordinates below, but I know some people don't use coordinates. So if you just want to see where they are from here, this is a good time. You could, you know, pause it, whatever, take a screenshot where the green dots are, and we'll fly to each of them too really quick. Some of them might be in caves, I think. I didn't go into any of the ones with the caves. I'll explain how it works. So these statues... let's go to one of the statues first. We'll go to the one closest over here. There might even be people around them or something waiting to do this. Okay, so here's what they look like. They're just like the ones inside of the instance or whatever. And what you're going to want to do is 3 of these at any time will be interactable. By interactable, look, you can click on it, but this isn't the interaction we want. When you click on it, instead of casting something, they'll like start emitting different colors, right? I think it's red, purple, green, and blue. And what you need to do is you need to have your owl pet get hit by each of those. And once it does, you'll see over your owl pet, it'll have an orb over his head. You see that orb over the fledgling warden owl? That means that you have all of the colors, okay? So, like I said, when I click on this one, nothing happens. That's just because this one isn't currently active. There's 3 active at any time. People found this out just by having a bunch of people here doing it. So come over here. This one's probably not active either. That's why it's not lit up. Let's at least find one that's active so you can see what it looks like. Is this one active? Nope. And you can just sit and wait at one until it becomes an active one. Although once you start getting the colors, you need to make sure you also have, you know, the colors that you need. But in theory, you could just sit at one until it happens. Okay, so here we go. There's red. So with red, is my fledgling owl still with me? It is. So it would get here. I already have the thing, so I doubt I'm going to get anything to pop up for this. But I believe a magnifying glass will pop over your head when you unlock this. So you stand in there, you wait till your owl gets the buff, and I think a magnifying glass will pop over your head. I believe that is the case from when I initially did this. And so that means your owl has the thing. Oh, is that mine? Yeah, okay, so he's doing some circles over there. So he's got the buff, he's got the red buff. So now I would still need the purple, green, and blue buff. And so I would just fly around to more statues, and you're basically going to do loops. Like I said, I didn't bother going in the caves just because I didn't want to deal with going in and out of the caves. So this one's giving the blue buff. So I got to make sure my owl's out, because it could go away when I'm flying and I'd have to resummon it. You can also see that it's summoned over here on my bar because it's lit up. So then he would get the blue buff and I would get the magnifying glass. So hopefully you see how that works. Okay, so you need red, purple, green, and blue. When you get all 4... Oh, I got the magnifying glass anyways, even though I already had it done. Oh, nope, it's because they're doing green now, maybe? Either way. Your owl will have the orb over his head when he's done. It's just an easy way to know that you're ready to go inside the dungeon, basically. So this part was very easy. This part was done before any of this. Before the before we were even onto the orbs, basically. This part was just kind of already figured out before we were too far into anything. Let's go ahead and get to the dungeon. I always have trouble finding it. So the next part is we're going to need to go inside the dungeon. Okay, so the dungeon's right here. It's on your map. It's marked with the, you know, the dungeon thing. I'm going to get rid of these waypoints. Remove waypoints. Oh. Remove all waypoints. Yes. Okay, so now we need to go into the dungeon, and we're going to need to clear this entire dungeon out. Okay, so and the first part's easy enough, just clearing the dungeon and stuff. I am going to stick with you while we clear the dungeon, just in case you've never run this before. So we're going to walk in here. I believe you can do it on any difficulty. Let me see what's written. I don't even know if it says. Yeah, I believe it's any difficulty though. And so you come in here, and you just, you know, if you're max level, it's not going to take long for you to clear this, but we're just going to do it just to make sure you know where to go and stuff. Kill the first boss. Go up here. And we're going to need to clear this entire dungeon. That's just kind of how this works. This dungeon has all kinds of cool things in it. In the past and everything. So eventually, I believe this is the door that's going to be open for us later on. It'll be this door. So we will need to go there. At the end here. We have to wait for the RP of this event. Again, if you want to skip ahead, you already know how to clear the dungeon, you can do that. But I just don't want people to get lost or confused or whatever with this. We had to wait for the RP here. Where essentially what we're going to do, if you do want to skip ahead, is you're going to get to the last boss. You're going to grab the light after the boss is dead. Grab the light, and you're going to bring it all the way back up here. And this door is going to be open. And then I won't keep going from there, but that's basically what we're doing. Alright, kill the imp mother there. That'll open that door. We now need to go down here. Don't fall to your death. Remember doing this on Mythic Plus. Alright, so now you need to kill this little mini boss guy, Inquisitor. Alright, and now we need to go kill Glazer. Oop, I fell. I just said not to fall. Watch that first step, it's a doozy. Alright, so now we're gonna go kill, we're gonna go down here. This time not fall, hopefully through the hole in the floor. Alright, now we're gonna go over here. We're gonna kill this person in front of the door. It's gonna unlock the door. This is where we're gonna be doing the puzzle in this room. There's a world quest in here that has a similar puzzle. You may have done it before during the dungeon. Kill Glazer, get him out of the way. I guess I haven't never checked if you have to kill both bosses, but I think you do. Before you can get to the next area. So we're gonna go down here and kill the Ash Golem. Now we're gonna come back up here. This door is now open. The Demon Ward. And now we need to go down again, so we're going to take a left. Do not fall down the hole. Do not be like me. And now, where we first killed this other guy, the door's open. You can kill him. We got another elevator to go down. There's going to be some light down here you can grab. That way you can actually kill the mobs. Because you will probably aggro them. So you can grab this light. Now you can't just take this light up. No shortcuts. You need to actually kill the last boss. And you'll notice you can't target these things until you get close to them. On my screen they're crabs because I have the arachnophobia on. I don't have arachnophobia. I just have that setting on. Make your way through. Kill this last Spirit of Vengeance here. Open the door. Bolt of the Betrayer. As you make your way in, you're going to lose your little light here. You do have to wait for the RP here. And then there's a light here, and I think you can take the other light too back. It doesn't matter which light you take back, as far as I know. But when I did it, I took this light back. This from this glowing sentry. Alright, so there we go. Just one shot her. We're going to grab the light, and now we're going to start heading back. Again, for the purposes of this video, I'm not going to cut all this out, but you can skip ahead to going back to the door if you like. I'm going to keep this in here just for anybody. This is a dungeon you could get turned around in if you haven't really done it before. I'll try to include the timestamp of when I made it back to the door. here. Then we gotta wait for the elevator. Dismiss it. So we're going to take this all the way back to that room. And if with our owl pet out, which you can see mine's not currently out because I died, with your owl pet out and this light, so now you have an orb over your head and your owl has an orb over their head, a little mini statue is going to spawn in there. I'm not sure that it's going to spawn for me since I've already done it, but it should spawn for you. We got to make our way back. Remember, we have to go back up here. I'll get out my little owl now. So now we both have orbs over our head. Almost there. That's the first boss. Now you can see this door is open. And look, oh, it is there for me. Good. So even though I've done it, I'll still be able to show you it. So you come in here with your owl, with your thing on, and now there's a sentry statue. So you can actually click on this, taking it, and it goes into your bags. All right, so now we have the sentry statue in our bags, and we need to head back to Glazer. So a lot of running back and forth on this one. When we get to the actual step, it might seem overwhelming to some of you, and it will take a little bit of work and effort on your part. And like I said at the beginning of the video, it's going to take you some time to do this. However, you do not have to solve it by yourself. There is a very kind person who made a website real quick to where you can just input all of the stuff that you write down. You can input it and it'll solve the puzzle for you. So at least after you're tired from writing everything down and getting it perfect, right? You at least don't have to do the actual solve. Now, if you want to try to do the solve, you're more than welcome to. It is doable. It's something this is one that I could do myself. But by the time I wrote everything down, I didn't feel like doing it myself. And I used the site as well. There's also, I was just checking before I made the video, there's also been a lot of improvements to the site as well. I'm going to go loot Glazer. Maybe I should have looted him before so he despawned. I don't think it'll really matter, but... So, right up here, on this little square area here, we are going to put our sentry statue down. So you right-click it, and then you can place it, okay? Now, when you place it here, it gets really big. There's some moonlight shining on it or something, okay? And now it has like a wrench. I've never even really seen this icon before. And you can click this wrench, and you can start up sequence the puzzle. There we go. So it prepares a random set of owls. So what you need to do here is you need to, it doesn't matter where you start necessarily, but you need to pick an owl to start. I'll just tell you the exact way I did it, right? So the very first owl, let's pull up the website and show you. This is going to be the easiest way. So what we're doing is we're making a 5x5 grid. And so you need to number the owls whichever way makes sense to you. It says right here, it says the orientation does not matter as long as you do it in this way, where it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the next row, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You don't want to do it like a snake, right? It has to be, you know, everything's plus 5, right? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 1, 6, 11, 6, 21, like that. Okay? So we're going to be numbering these down. So what I literally did is I literally just used a piece of notebook paper here. You probably won't even be able to see this, but there's a little grid at the top. And then for each one, you're going to have to write down which statues it moves, because each time the puzzle resets, it's random. Now, there could be some correlation, or there could be a max number of puzzles. As of making this video, that's not the case, though, or it's not known. If that ever changes, I could always come back and leave a pinned comment or something about that for easier work for people. But so first you need to have some sort of a grid system. Write it down in some way. Put it on Microsoft Paint, whatever you need to do, right? So for me, this was 1, this was 2, this was 3, this was 4, this was 5. Go to the next row. Up here, 6, the one that's up, then 7, 8, 9, 10 is here. Then we go all the way over here. 11, 12, 13's in the middle, always. 14, 15. We go over to the next row. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Then the back row. 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Or you can do it the literally same way that they have their grid, where you start in somewhere else and go the other way. It doesn't matter. I know, because trust me, I was a little bit panicked because I did my whole grid, and then I looked at the solver thing and I go, oh my gosh, I am going to have to figure this out by myself because I did it wrong. But it worked perfectly, just the way that I did it. So that's up to you. So I'm going to show you how it works, and then we'll go over a little bit more how to use that solver. And of course, I'll put the link to the solver in the description below. So now I was able to do this just by watching and monitoring it. Okay. Now I did make some mistakes and I had to go back and fix them. But anytime I wasn't sure, I just annotated that, I need to do this one again. Or if I was completely unsure, I only wrote down the ones I was sure of. So when we click on 1, there's going to be 4 statues that move. So it's already up. So when I click on 1 is going to go down. 4 other statues are going to move. They could go down or they could come up. So let's see what happens when I click on 1. So when I click on 1, let's try it again. So that one and that one went down. So 5 went down and 14 went down. And then 19 went up and 23 went up. Now, I just kind of can remember these because I did this so many times. But so I would write those down next to the number 1. All the ones that it affected. Okay. Now, some people are having trouble with this because, it is a lot to take in and to try to remember all the numbers and stuff. So you could screen record if you have the ability to screen record. Some people were taking they were using like the snipping tool and snipping it in action, so they could see which ones were moving, and then snipping when they went down and then snipping when they went up. There's different things you can try to do if you're struggling with just Natty doing it. Let's do number 2 here, and I struggled too on some of them. Some of them I would get the first try, and some of them I would have to do multiple times. So let's click on number 2. So number 1, I already forget what the numbers were, but I would write those down next to number 1. So now I'm on number 2. So number 2, okay, we had all 4 go down. So we had 6, 7, 8. We had 6, 9, 18, and I missed the other one, to be completely honest. So I would only write down 3 numbers, and then I would have to do number 2 again. So at some point, I'm going to have to click a statue, and it's going to make 2 come up, and I would have to do number 2 again because I already forgot what the 4th one was. Now we click on number 3. Now the more that are down, the more likely it's not going to be a good solution for you. So let's go ahead and click on 3 though. We click on 3, and so we're gonna have 4 pop up. So 4 popped up. We have 13, 18, 20, and 25. So for number 3, I would put 13, 18, 20, 25. Okay, and you have to do this for every statue. Okay, so this is the time part of it. So then you go to number 4. Number 4, 25 went down, so I have 25. I have 21. I have 7 and 8. So 7, 8, 21, 25 would be the ones that correspond to number 4. Okay, so this is going to take you a while. You need to do every single one. So 5 is not up, so I can't do 5 right now. So I would just go ahead and do number 7 here, and do number 7 next. Eventually they'll pop up because you're most likely not gonna complete. If you complete the sequence doing this, that's great because you can just randomly click them till they work. There are people that had no idea, they didn't write anything down, and you can just click it till it works. I don't recommend doing that, but you could do it. You could just get lucky, right? And so you're gonna need to do that for every statue. Like I said, I know you can't really see it, and my handwriting's terrible, anyways. But like I have all 25 written down with 4 numbers next to each of them. And now you're going to input this information onto this guy's solver thing. So I'm going to show you how this works as well. Okay. So I already forget. I can't just remember the numbers. I can use the ones that I used from my sheet here. So statue number 1. So on statue number 1, which is right here. Sorry, I have a train going by if you can hear that, but statue number 1 is right here. And so on the solver thing, even though my number 1's in a different spot than his number 1, I'm still going to click on number 1. I'm not going to click 21. I'm going to click number 1. It was my number 1 in this order. Okay, so number 1, and it's going to turn red, okay, on the solver thing. Now for my solve, it was 6, 11, 13, 20. So I'm going to click 6, 11, 13, and 20. And now it turns blue. That means that one's done. And look, when you scroll over, it even shows you the ones that it affects. And then you go to number 2. For my number 2, oh, did I have to click done there? Hold on. For my number 2, it was 14, 6, 13, 19. Right? 4, 6, 13, 19. My handwriting is bad. 4, 6, 13, and 19. Okay, so now 1 and 2 are done. And so you just need to go in. So once you already have the information written down, maybe it took you a long time, and you just click on all these and fill them in, okay? Now, I'm not going to fill all mine in here because it's going to take forever. But then you click. So once this is done, all 25 are blue. As long as you observed correctly, you observed the statues correctly, you wrote them down correctly. Down here, it even shows you the mapping. Let me show you with the mouse. Down here, it even shows you the mapping. Can you see the mouse? Yeah. So you can, make sure it matches what you have written down there. And then you can click solve puzzle will pop up. And then it'll tell you down here the exact ones to click. So it'll say, like, click 12, then 10, then 24, then 18, then 1. And you just follow it in that order. And if you click them in that order, it'll be solved. This is just deducing, like, okay, I need to get the exact amount of statues up that I need. How can I get there? And it's just basically, it's not really math, but it's kind of doing the math for you, essentially, right? And so you plug all these in and do that. So, yep, it's a lot of writing. It's a lot of observing. But it's not too bad. It really isn't. Especially if you're in the right mindset. Like, you can't really be multitasking and doing this because you need to pay attention to what's going on. But other than that, it's not that bad. The worst case scenario, if you're paying attention, is probably or you're using a tool or you're using video recording or something, is like maybe you have to click every statue twice. That's annoying, but it's not that bad. All right. So now you've solved the puzzle. You've gotten all the statues to go down. And so now what will happen is, what will happen now is that over here in front of this owl, there'll now be a chest, okay? And I believe you need your Torch of Pyrath. And do you need anything else for this? And Fledgling Owl. So you need your owl out still, and you need your Torch of Pyrath, and you'll be able to loot this chest that'll spawn in front of this owl here. And this is going to have the Warden's Mirror in it. And that's going to combine with that Shaman's Blood from earlier for the next step. And once you're done with that, of course, that will also light up your Orb 7. So, again, I wish everyone luck on this. I know this can be overwhelming to some people. Video record's great. Screen capture is great. The snipping tool is great. Whatever you need to do this. For me, you know, yeah, I got into a groove with it and like understanding what numbers each thing was. And so it probably only took me like 20 minutes to do all this, but it might take you an hour, it might take you longer, it might take you 10 minutes because you're smarter than me. That's also very possible. But yeah, you do the puzzle, you observe, you report, you write everything down, and then you plug it into the solver or solve it yourself. And then you come over here once it's all the statues are down. Chest is here right in front of the statue that you put down, and then you're able to go ahead and loot the Warden's mirror, and be done with this step. When you go back to the catacombs, your 7th orb will be lit, and you will be ready to do the 8th orb with your Shaman's Blood and your Warden's mirror. So that's it for this one, guys. I know it's a little bit overwhelming. A lot of these are, I think, to some people, and I worry about that. But as always, I do ask you to please subscribe to the channel. It helps me out a lot. And other than that, everybody, have a good one.